The Bronco Stroppe two-door that we're driving right now got the axe for 2026. What does that tell us about the future of two-door Broncos? We'll discuss.
But first, here's how much the Bronco Stroppe two-door costs.
First, what is this thing? Okay, so the Bronco Stroppe basically takes the place of the Wild Track in the Bronco lineup. The Wild Track was like the desert racing kind of fast one. This recalls the Stroppe Baja Bronco that was originally sold in the 1960s and 70s. Okay, it was really cool. You could go to your Ford dealership, check a box, and it would add this Stroppe package where basically they would send the vehicle to the Stroppe factory in Signal Hill, California, and then they would deliver it to you, and then you could go race in Baja.
Sweet.
So this is tapping into that aesthetically and functionally. You may have noticed there's a distinct visual style to the Stroppe Edition Bronco. We've got Atlas blue paint on the roof, which I really like because at certain sun angles it really pops. Otherwise it just looks pretty dark. You've got Oxford white, and then you've got the Code Orange paint that previously only appeared on Raptor products. Got that white grille up front with the contrasting lettering. It is a bold statement.
Yeah, you can't not look at it if it's in your field of vision. I really like the white. It really brings it all together for me.
Is there a name for the shade of white?
Yes, Oxford white.
Is there Harvard white?
That's a very funny comment, kiddo.
Who made this hilarious kid?
People are going to think we told you to say that. We did not tell you to say that.
Not.
Contrasting with that Oxford white, Oxford is Oxford. Now I'm thinking it's Harvard. Damn it. Contrasting with the white, you've got the matte black hood, which is functional. Back in the day, they would make it matte black to minimize glare when you're out driving in the middle of the desert. And then you have that exact same matte black on the rear door, which it's like, sure, there's continuity from front to rear, but I kind of think continuing the white around might have looked better. Nonetheless, I do like a lot of the little details. You got like a little cactus on the side, and you got the little squatch on the rear, driver's side quarter panel, and all these like little touches. Oh, I'm a big fan of the Raptor style running boards. That's making its way throughout the Bronco line now, but it looks really good here.
And it helps me get in this vehicle, which I appreciate.
Oh, and then we have the heritage style squared off fenders. And then when you come inside too, there's a lot of those same features. You got the Code Orange elements, the stitching here. I really like the old school style white dash with the Code Orange lettering. If I could steal this from this car and put it in our Bronco, I would do that, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to steal from Ford. One thing I don't like about the Stroppe is it's got the stock Goodyears on it. We had those on our Bronco, and we had nothing but problems with punctures and tire slashes and stuff, so I'd swap those out for some KO3s probably. One thing I really do like is the hardtop functionality, specifically the back portion that pops out like a little port. Yeah, really great functionality.
One thing I really like is the old school Bronco lettering here that just gives it a really fun retro touch.
And then moving to the functional stuff, you got the Sasquatch package, which is a very capable addition to any Bronco. You got the Fox internal bypass dampers, which are very capable. And then you have Baja mode, which suggests that you should drive this thing quickly through the desert. Oh, and then this comes with the 2.7 liter V6, and it's the only way for 2025 that you could get a V6 in a two-door. And while I have the V6, I'm going to floor it.
That sounds so good.
It does. Simultaneously, I think it's getting a little bit of artificial assistance through the sound system. No, that doesn't reduce it. If you enjoy the sound of it, then it's fine however you achieve it. What is interesting, though, is that from a performance perspective, I'm not really feeling a ton of envy versus our 2.3 liter four-cylinder. This is faster, but not like radically faster. One interesting thing I noted driving this thing around doing car to car is that sometimes it's difficult to go from a little power to just medium levels of power. It's like either you have not enough or too much, and that's the exact same behavior we found in our Bronco with the 2.3 liter. It's really more of a transmission tuning question than a power tuning, but yeah, I would love to have like a little bit more gradation between low, medium, and high power request levels. Now that we know what the Stroppe Edition Bronco is, sweetie, can you tell me real quick, do you like this thing?
When you told me we were getting this, you couldn't tell if I was going to love this or hate this. And I'm on the same page. I don't know.
It was really fun. Okay, I filmed the moment you rolled up and you saw this for the first time, and you said it looked like a clown. Well, here's what you said.
What clown did you steal that from?
Do you like what you see?
It certainly makes a bold statement.
Yeah, so something like a clown car. There's a lot of colors. It's so vivid. And like Evie really likes old school, classic looking stuff.
And I like bright things, but it might be too much even for me, but I'm glad it exists. I just don't feel passionate about owning it. I'd rather have a heritage edition.
As for me, I am a sucker for an absurd paint job. I really like the history, tying in all that heritage to this version. And I like the fact that it's a very capable off-roader. You're probably thinking like, well, you guys gonna take that thing off-road? No, we're not gonna take this off-road in a meaningful way. This is like 75 grand worth of Bronco. We'll talk a little bit more about pricing in just a second. My last thought is that I really like it in a two-door shape. I think this thing looks right in that classic two-door body style. By the way, if you do want to see us take a Bronco off-road, you can either watch this video or maybe this other video. But yeah, even though we're not necessarily willing to spend $75,000 of our own dollars on this, we like that it exists, and we like that it exists as a two-door. But, as mentioned in the beginning of the video, the two-door version of the Stroppe is axed for 2026, which leads us to, what's the future of the two-door Bronco look like? So if you look at the configurator for the Bronco for 2026, which was just launched right before we did this video, you'll note that there are only two trims now where you can get a two-door. You can get it in a base or Badlands, that's it. And it's bizarre because the two trims you'd think would come with the classic two-door body style, the Heritage and the Stroppe, are only now available as four doors. Another interesting tidbit is that in the olden days when the Bronco first launched, way back in 2021, we were young then, they priced the two-door cheaper than the four-door. Now, the two doors and the four doors are the exact same price. All of this suggests to me that Ford has a decreasing interest in selling the two-door Broncos. By the way, I did reach out to Ford PR to ask about the two-door status, and the response I got was hilarious. It was something along the lines of, yes, the two-door continues to be available. What a perfectly non-committal response. Now, let's just take a moment here and let the traditionalists who think the only Bronco should be the two-door Bronco, let's give them a moment to feel their feelings. While you're doing that, we're going to run some footage of the Bronco Stroppe Edition in two doors. If we could license the Sarah McLachlan song right now, we'd play that. Here's the cheapest royalty-free version of Arms of an Angel we could think of.
The two-door moments fading, as if lost in time's grocery. Oh, the Bronco, it's not the same, yet the memories will always remain.
This makes me want to ask you a question. Do you think a four-door Bronco is a legitimate Bronco, or can the only Bronco that's a real Bronco have two doors? And then let me follow up with a pointed question. If two doors were super popular, don't you think Ford would be really, really excited to sell them? We'll come back to the two-door conundrum in just a second, but let's briefly talk about price. If you go to that 2026 configurator and you look at the prices for all the different Broncos, it's like, wow, that's really expensive. Those numbers are lofty. One interesting way that we've been thinking about Bronco prices is just to compare our build from our 2021 Ford Bronco and just see what a roughly similar build costs now. As a quick reminder, our Bronco is a Big Bend trim, which is not particularly fancy. It's got the soft top. We do have the Sasquatch package. It's got the beadlock capable wheels. It's got the 2.3 liter four-cylinder engine, and it's got the 10-speed automatic transmission. Here's what we paid for it in 2021. And now, if you go to the configurator and do a 2026 model, as closely spec'd as you can, you'll see it is way more expensive. Now, to be fair to Bronco, there are a few more features in there. The newer Bronco has the 12-inch screen. It has to come with the black diamond package now, which used to be a trim, but now it's a package. So it's got the underbody skid plates.
Which makes so much sense.
Sure does with a vehicle that capable.
It also has the marine grade vinyl, which I really wish we had in our Bronco.
Meanwhile, I'm glad we don't, because it comes with this seat right here that has the little cutout that I find uncomfortable in my back. Nonetheless, Sweetie is prone to spills.
Wow.
So yeah, I can see why you'd want that. So yes, the equivalent to the Bronco we bought 5 model years ago is slightly nicer equipped, but it's more than $9,000 more expensive. So are Bronco prices highway robbery? No, it's just inflation. What's really fun is, okay, you go online, find any inflation calculator. It's not a perfect representation, but it's pretty close. Here's how much we spent on our Bronco, including destination charges back in 2021. Let's use the inflation calculator to see what that equals in 2025 bucks. That is within $88 of the 2026 Big Bend Sasquatch I configurated. What that means is that the value of the US dollar has dropped by about 20%. Consequently, everything has gotten more expensive, Broncos included. Returning briefly to the Stroppe thing, it is only available as a 4-door for 2026, but the price has actually dropped, which is sort of surprising. For our purposes, it's probably still too expensive, but it's a very capable off-roader. It's super distinct, and personally, I love that Ford's willing to do something so ridiculous looking.
Totally.
I'm happy the Stroppe exists. That said, for our purposes, our quaint little Bronco that we've made our own is perfectly fine for our needs. This all feels like disparate thoughts, but I'm going to wrap it up really succinctly here. I love the 2-door Bronco, and I'm really bummed that it's moved to such an edge case, but I understand that demand leads supply, so I can understand why Ford is de-emphasizing the 2-door. I don't know, maybe they're even phasing it out. Also, it's a bummer that the Bronco we bought in 2021 is now more than $9,000 more expensive, but inflation devalues currency, and so I can understand why Ford has priced the Bronco in 2026 the way it has.
And I'm so grateful we bought ours when we did.
Whew! In conclusion, sometimes reality sucks. I don't have any solutions, by the way, so I'm going to flip it back on you. What do you think Ford should do with the 2-door Bronco? Keep it? Kill it? Also, what do you think of the Stroppe? Do you like it? Dislike it? Is there something you would do differently to make it even better? And then I guess last question, do you guys have any sick monetary policy ideas for squelching the extreme inflation we've felt over the last many years? If you do, please leave them in the comments. You know, in these times, I feel like all I have is questions, but I do know one thing for certain. We appreciate you guys watching. 5 and a 5, and you especially, come get your high five. Bam!
All the high fives.